opposition to Yavana, I suggest to him that we post a thin line of these auxiliaries who are pretty expendable right there. He launches an attack with his copious armed auxiliaries head-on on these guard mode units. And he sends his legionaries after the flank there. I guess he thought that my order to attack over here meant he should do the same, whereas I meant for him to specialize elsewhere. Anyways, the auxiliaries do not perform particularly well in this matchup. They aren't tightly spaced, and because they aren't able to flank them, they're just at a straight disadvantage in this situation. Because the only advantage of looser formation units is, one, they're technically less vulnerable to missiles, and two, the greater width means they can flank easier. You can see the devastating effectiveness of Imperial legionaries. They've been boosted in battle value compared with regular legionaries. I'm launching a javelin attack, especially on these Bastarnai infantry, who are unarmored, as I mentioned earlier, and very important to kill. I'm also helping out with my Hispanic auxiliaries, but Vega's legionary cohort posted there is routed. As you can see, my column formation leaves plenty of room for backup. And Vega's isolated troops over here, not sure what they're doing, but they seem to be outnumbered, or at least they will be. Anyways, they aren't keeping up with their swords, and so they're falling behind in the struggle over here. The auxiliaries have barely made a dent against these elite infantry, but the legionaries have easily pushed past the wall of troops there, and there leaves a big gap here to exploit. And the rout over here, caused by my javelin attack, and the sheer numbers of my legionaries are pushing back these Volksmen. In fact, this battle was so close it might not be possible that the replay generates a different result. Than what actually happened in the battle. We'll see. And I'm not spoiling the ending to you guys yet, unless I already have, in which case shame on me. Getai attack, but no spears lowered, thus very little damage done, and it's met with a counterattack by my cavalry. Here you see how the line has been completely crushed here. And the plan of attacking here and flanking around is going quite well. And my Alpines are doing a decent job holding the flank. And I have legionaries waiting in reserve to exploit any weaknesses that may show up. But the cataphracts here are just making it really difficult to keep going. But they're tired already, and I can engage them with my nearby legionaries. So here I think I have an over-concentration of force, and there's also a lot of routes of Vega's units, especially the auxiliaries, which fruitlessly engaged the front line here. Although they did know that Torakita Stratiotai being whittled down is largely to do the flank attacks here. You can see really how assaulting elite infantry in guard mode head-on is just a terrible idea. Sort of like how the Spartans stood against the Persians at Thermopylae with the aid of their couple thousand allies. And this is sort of identical in that situation, except there's obviously not a giant bottleneck with a mountain on one side and the sea on the other. In this case, here, however, Vega's isolated and poorly numbered troops over here have been surrounded by these, and showing why bringing auxiliaries alone is not a good idea. After all, they are auxiliaries, they are supposed to support the flanks and weaknesses of the Legion, rather than take the Legion's place as the main line of battle. I'm not sure. I'm guessing that was Vega's general. Anyways, these cataphracts keep working their magic over here. Meanwhile, you can see Vega's Imperial Legionaries do an admirable job of holding off both cataphracts and assaulting the back of a phalanx at once. Vega's also keeping his auxiliaries sitting right there to guard too much. I guess he should just be a bit more mobile with them. I mean, not mobile, but more willing to exploit their capabilities as mobile spearmen with Kopides. Bunch of crappy archers routed. Well, having crushed the Falksmen, we have only cataphracts to turn to. That was an unfortunate miss. He stopped his charge. Oh, no, I see why. Just a bunch of confusion between the two players here. I'm not moving my troops ineffectively. But flanking the Ordoton is doing a lot more damage than a frontal assault ever would. see when the legionaries aren't as organized and are a bit more isolated, they get hacked up pretty well by the Drapani and the Falksmen. But they're well supported and taking it a good frontal fight. There's no chance. Do I have any javelins left at this point? Crap, there's a unit lying around there. I always hate for me to see those. You can see my legionaries some of them have fought their way all the way around to the back. Whereas these Getai Stratiotai still hold strong. And my legionaries have started a rout there. Through sheer brutality, I've fought my way through these, and numbers. I've fought my way through the opposing troops here. But my flank attack has collapsed by now. The weakened phalanx got pushed through pretty easily, with a gap in it. And a hot pursuit. Good, my routing legionaries recovered apparently. And at this point, it's kind of funny. We still have these Alpine guys barely hanging on because of how the fear effect of those cataphracts. But they still murder these Persians. Unfortunately, the now exhausted legionaries aren't able to break the phalanx quickly enough on the sides. And the Getai Stratiotai are still fresh when they've broken out of guard mode and are now attacking with their Sikai. Again, the cataphracts just keep coming.